to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your hosts, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
I did want to tell you, I think you'll be happy.
Uh-huh.
While I was in Minnesota, dog sitting.
Oh, you were dog sitting. That's why you were in Minnesota. I was wondering why you were gone for so long.
Usually, anytime I'm in Minnesota, I'm dog sitting for a friend. But the friend that I was dog sitting for is a big Lincoln Park fan as well, and it's just
Awesome.
I can't get heavy as the crown out of my head.
Dude, new song comes Thursday too. Another
Yes,
new song comes Thursday.
looking forward.
And the album drops the day I'm going to the Penguins game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so I got a little soundtrack for the ride there.
lovely, lovely.
Um, so yes, we're alive. We haven't done a show since our Eastern preview with Jimmy. We're sorry.
Yeah, 5 games into the season, but you know what? I almost kind of like being able to review things not in terms of just going goal by goal, but kind of just going off the vibes of a
See
stretch.
where the stretch is.
Yeah, and having some general thoughts about the team. So I actually kind of like doing it this way.
I mean, it is nice because we're recording this on Frozen Frenzy Day, where everybody's fucking playing.
Yes, and we have a home game against the Maple Leafs who are coming off
We've got
the first
buddies
of a
streaming.
back-to-back.
We've got buddies streaming a watch along for that. Peter with Sticks in the Six and Kyle are doing that game.
Nice. I'm
So
hoping the Leafs coming off of I would say a highly charged win against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the midst of a back-to-back
they'll still
against
come out swinging, but
against the
travel.
team that they should win feels like a formula we've seen over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30 years for them to lose these kind of games. So hoping that
Yeah,
maybe
well, they've also, I don't know, not to give them kudos because like they had to travel and nobody got to practice today.
oh
Um,
yeah, no, they look good. So I'm
Dennis
not saying this,
Hildeby's going to be in net for them, so they got the baby in there.
yeah, I'm not saying this guarantees a win for the Jackets. I'm just saying, yeah, I think I deserve some credit. I've been very positive this season so far.
So far, you've been good. So far, you've been good.
Really good. I literally texted you opening day. I said I think we're gonna win. We didn't. But I had the faith and I was happy with the effort. Today I think we're gonna win.
You've said
Um
everything's been fun to watch.
that's yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But yes, yes.
I did want to just like open with this because we haven't done a show since this game.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
we haven't.
I think it's important for us to get to reflect on the home opener.
Yeah, yeah. What a night that was.
It's a shame had to work during everything, but luckily I had you texting me all
Yeah,
the
I
like
sent you
events and
text for
stuff.
like 2, 3 minutes. It was both.
I was so busy cooking that I was like, dude.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I
Very well done on so many. Like the night was just.
where do we
You don't want to say it was nice because obviously the circumstances are so sad, but the way it was done, they did such a good job, and it just for the tragedy and everything, and for a community that once again is grieving, it felt like we were able to celebrate in the way that Johnny would have wanted to, which was
yeah,
with hockey.
and fun and
Fun.
like I don't there's so many little bits and pieces that went into this.
And not even just for the Blue Jackets. Spencer Knight had a really good game, and I thought that was a wonderful story.
That was a good story. The Knight had a great game.
Yeah.
Um,
A little shame that Barkov and Matt Kachuk were not playing.
Matt's
Uh,
back though, so
yes.
Kachuk is all right.
I
Uh,
think he was sick.
yeah, I think he was sick. Um, But to speak on the kindness of the Panthers,
Oh, first class.
because obviously we didn't even know how big Columbus was going to go. I understand that they were able to take things that we brought from the outdoor memorials inside,
Hmm.
and then they built on those,
Yes.
which we'll get to when what they did to build on those. But when the Panthers arrived,
Hmm.
and this was Matt's idea, because of course it was Matt Kachuk's idea.
Yeah.
Um, they all came in carrying for us and them uh purple Gatorade and Skittles
Yes.
for pregame snack kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was just a beautiful like bonding moment the two opponents got to have.
Yeah.
Um the both teams wearing Johnny Gaudreau jerseys for warm-ups
Yeah. That was that was well done too.
was very good. Um Obviously it was a little strange seeing Gaudreau 13 in Panthers colors,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that was still like both teams doing that was huge.
Yes. Definitely.
The video package, I didn't get to catch up on it because
That
my
was
emotions weren't there
yeah.
yet.
Oh God, that was a gut punch. That was yeah.
I don't think my emotions are even there still to go back and watch that. Um, Unfortunately enough, because I don't know if that's gonna like, re-traumatize things or anything like that. I'm just not
I
emotionally ready
was
for it.
I was definitely grateful that when I watched it, I had one dog at each side.
Oh.
It's just you know, keep me grounded, I guess.
But that was great because they put on what, like a 5-10 minute video.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Meredith got to speak. Oh my
Mhm.
God, we've said this countless times already. She has been so freaking strong
Yes.
during this whole thing.
Such a strong family. Oh, before the game, also Guy Gaudreau getting the chance to
He did
do
some
a couple
practices.
practice, which I thought was wonderful. Because he was with the one practice, and then like I think Dean was like, "Yeah, you're welcome back anytime," and he was like, "Can I come for morning skate?"
Yeah,
It
can
was
I come
like,
back
yes,
tomorrow?
yes, absolutely.
They're taking such good care of the family.
I had no doubts that they would, especially with a guy like Sean Monahan there, and we'll get into him in a little bit. But oh my gosh, it's just the picture of him with
Ugh.
I think it was the picture of him holding Noah. I think after the game, either before or after the game at their house
Oh. Well, because
was
I know the whole team went for Noah's birthday party too. And
yes.
that was such a sweet thing.
They're gonna take care of the family. The whole team will be there, and it's beautiful the way that they've come together in the midst of all of this and just
Everybody's inseparable this year. They went to,
yeah.
OSU
Hmm.
game. They went to
Yeah,
dinner
Adam
one night all
Fantilli.
together.
Yeah, Adam Fantilli to go to an
Adam
OS.
with the that was a
I
great
mean, team
story.
that's built of Michigan men. Uh,
Going to the
that's
Ohio
how
State game.
inseparable this group is. You got them going to OSU games.
Um, the game itself, like obviously,
What a fun game.
it was a really fun game, and the way they started things was really special too, because like almost directly after Meredith spoke,
Hmm.
um, we didn't necessarily do a moment of silence. I know a lot of teams are doing like a moment of noise. A lot of teams are doing a moment of silence, what have you. Um, I know when we had the game against the Wild, they projected a 13 and a 21 onto the ice.
Hmm.
I never got the chance to watch what the Flames did for their first one, which I'm sure is going to bring me to tears at some point.
Yeah.
because that one I've heard is just so emotional.
Yeah.
Um, but they did take the first 13 seconds off of the game clock.
That was like it reminded me of uh like Kobe Bryant when he died. They did like the 8 seconds and the 24-second shot clock. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool moment. They lined up without a winger.
Yeah, and they put a spotlight on the left side where Johnny would have been.
Yeah.
I loved the Jackets like social post to that saying, saved a spot for Johnny.
Yeah.
It just that one teared me up.
Yeah.
And, how fitting for KJ to have a great game.
Oh, but not just a great game, like up until unfortunately he got hurt, and we'll talk about the injuries later. He has been phenomenal. I mean,
He's
he's
been unreal.
not to be too, I don't even know what the word to use here is, but he has kind of channeled his inner 13, and
He's
it's been beautiful to watch, which is part of why it's so frustrating that these injuries continue. Um,
I do think that he definitely like I saw one during one of the away games where he went through the high five line and um and high fived an empty space because he couldn't forget Johnny.
yeah.
Like,
Ugh.
damn it, this is so
Yeah.
like it's so bittersweet to
Gut
talk about
punch,
at this
gut
point.
punch. It's yeah,
Ugh.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Um, and then the other guy, who else to have a fantastic game?
It was so good. So good.
The banner, first of all, the banner that they raised is a lot nicer than what they did with Kivi, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yes. Beautiful banner and a beautiful moment. Sean Monahan right in front of goal, jamming
Right in
away.
front of the net, jams it
And
in,
just
falls
immediate it was
down, and immediately when he gets back up, points to the banner.
yeah.
That picture, like, that's
That
the
is
most
it's
iconic picture of the week.
it like weirdly enough, isn't it one of the most iconic photos in Blue Jackets history?
Kind of is.
Like what a moment. What a great picture of him just like I don't know, there's something so cool about it.
It's a shame that KJ's hurt for, we don't know how long.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be long term.
But obviously, with him and with everybody with the kids stepping up, Silly really stepped up. Oh my God.
Yes, he had the shorthanded goal in this game on a beautiful feed from Kent Johnson. Cylinders look good to start this season.
He's deserved that wing spot on the top line. I know
Yegor
Dean shake
Chimkov
things up, but
looks good. We know who Kirill Marchenko is. There's no questions about him. Uh, I gotta be honest with you. One of the bigger surprises for me uh, coming out of camp is probably Pucha.
yeah, Pooch is an interesting catch, especially like with the injuries that they've got going on now. That he got bumped up to the second line.
Yeah, uh,
They sent Dylan Gambrell to the minors, which was an
I
expected
just
move,
yeah,
but like Pucha getting the promotion
yeah.
out
I
of
mean,
all the guys, that was kind of neat. I like that.
it is very neat.
Well, because we know what Kevin LeBanc can do all up and down a lineup.
right.
So
I've liked him and JVR so far.
JVR's looked
I
fun.
definitely like the revamped fourth line of JVR, Corrali, LeBanc.
That one, I'm interested to see how they do when we're done with this
Hmm.
and how that game goes. But I did like the Czar Corrali Olivier combination is great.
Who?
Zach Aston Reese with Sean
Oh,
and
yeah.
Matthew.
I don't know why when you said Czar, I thought of Daniel Czar. Like I don't we haven't had
That guy's
years
been gone for a while.
gone for a long time. It's like too confusing him. No, yeah, no, Zach Aston Reese was a good claim. I sent you that funny Jay Fresh post the
Oh,
other
the
day.
Jay Fresh card is great.
Um, no, like we know who he is. He's unbelievable defensively, so he's
Extremely
good to have.
fast.
He's good to have in the bottom six because he just suppresses chances like crazy for a winger. So I like it. Because I've always said if your fourth line can just make sure that nothing's going on
Hmm.
and you can leave the game to your other three lines, that's probably an advantage. If you balance things in your top nine properly. So
Well, Dean wants to roll all four.
yeah, well, yeah, and that's why I like having Zach Aston Reese because whether if he's on the third line or the fourth line, um, he's making sure that you're putting the bulk of your games in the top six's hands.
And you
And
can still deploy those guys from the
yeah,
bottom like really
there's
effectively.
versatility. There's versatility with him. He's one of the few players in the NHL. Like I feel like there's the fun case of like every once in a while you look at a player who's an unbelievable offensive defenseman and you're like, how good would you be if you were a forward? And that's what you've done all your life. He is like the rare case of forward that I look at, and I was like, man, if you were like a defenseman from the age of like 5 going on,
Uh-huh.
like how good could you be as just
So
a
basically if he was a reverse Connor Timmins.
something similar to that. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to do that experiment. Like if you could do a life simulation where it's just that one tweak instead of
Just
playing.
like that's his be a pro where he plays himself and he wants to be a defenseman instead.
Yes, precisely.
I think since we're just going through like general vibes really quick. Um Again, I think one of the biggest things to take away from what we've got out of Dean so far versus what we had with Pazzi is what you said, I want to say texting me game 4 or something. And that's the exact kind of structure that he brings.
Yeah, I
Because
think I've said it like for every game that we've played so far. It's
because we've
this
had positionless hockey last year where we just kind of had forwards, and now it's like, no, we actually have bona fide wingers and centers, and your place.
yeah. Well, so it's interesting. They've played 5 games so far. I believe they've outshot their opponent in 3 of the 5 games.
Where is that?
We've scored 6 goals in a game twice
Hmm.
already to start this season. And you look at the 3 losses. Well, 2 of them were by a goal, and then the one game that you lost was the Minnesota game at home. That
Hmm.
was your worst performance of the season of the 5, where you went 11-7, kind of almost out of necessity after you lost Kent Johnson.
Right.
So, but it also at the same time, you end up losing Erica Branson. So
And well, we also like to fill the forward spot. We got Danforth back now, and
yeah, so I don't think that 11-7 is something we're going to do terribly often. 11-7, unfortunately, is something that doesn't seem to work very well for the Blue Jackets because they lack, I think, the forward depth to pull it off.
yeah.
Uh, and some of that, of course, is circumstantial. You lose Kent Johnson. Uh, that's such a blow to what you're trying to do. So, you know, and you lose Boone
Hmm.
Jenner and you lose
And you lose Dmitry Voronkov before
uh
everything gets
like,
going.
you know, they're just in a rough spot so far, considering the fact that you've lost those guys and obviously you traded away Patrick Laine and obviously you lost Johnny. To look at where you are through 5 games and to say, wow, we've scored 6 goals in a game twice.
And there's
one of
plenty of fights still in this
one of
team.
them
They
on the
don't
road
give up.
against Colorado,
Yeah.
and you've been in 4 of the 5 games, and it's been kind of a joy to watch. I can't help but look at this like it's a success so far.
So far, again, we're only 5 to 6 in,
Yeah, we're
but
only 5 games into the season, and we'll see what happens tonight with Toronto. Um, but I just I just for the life of me, one thing that I'm hoping happens this season, I'm going to put
mhm.
one goal on this team's back, and that is at some point, I want them to have a record above 500. Get that monkey off your back because you haven't had it
some
in years. You didn't have
sometime, please, boys.
like I think the last time this team was over 500 was late in the 21-22 season, which was the first season you and I covered the Blue Jackets. Like it's been some time.
It's
So
weird because like we also,
I was still in college.
it's so strange thinking back to those when they were still like fairly good and fighting for playoff spots and like yet they were still, you know, special circumstances aside with COVID and whatnot, they're still like a weirdly a an under 500 team that made the playoffs. Like,
Yeah, yeah. In the bubble, yeah. Because chances are, like, remember how many injuries they had that season. If
mhm.
it doesn't happen, they probably miss out of the playoffs. Now, granted, I don't think too many people would have blamed them because A, they lost all those players. They lost Bobrovsky, they lost Panarin. They lost some players due to injuries at some point. They lost Corpusalo while he was actually playing well for once in his life. So, like it was one of those weird seasons, and we haven't made the playoffs since, obviously. I'm not looking for playoffs or anything like that this season. I've made that abundantly clear. I picked this team to finish last in the division, albeit that wasn't out of spite. That wasn't out of negativity. It's just a loaded division. But at some point, even if it's just a 4-3 record in October, I just want to end that streak, this long 2+ year streak of always having a record below 500. That would just be a positive to be able to just wake up one day and be like, wow, we have more wins than
We
losses.
have a 503.
Yeah, like that would be nice, wouldn't it?
I
If
it
if you
would
beat Toronto tonight and then you beat Nashville, waking up and being like, hey, we're 4-3 on the season. How wonderful is that?
see like
Uh, I'm not asking much.
this is part of those early season, jitters, right?
Yeah.
Because like obviously I said in the preview that I'm given the circumstances that we've gone through and what the team's gone through over the last couple of years with the tragedies and everything, this is enough to galvanize them to finish as high as 6, I think. And that was my big reasoning for being 6
Yeah,
is
new coach bump, tight group. They're bonded together forever. I don't think it's a terrible prediction by any means, for those reasons. I'm just looking at it more from purely the hockey perspective, where I'm like, I can't confidently say that this roster is better than one or two other teams in this division. But again, it's not always about who has the best roster. Games aren't played on paper; they're played on
right.
reality.
It's about who can actually put the puck in the net and do things.
And keep the puck out of the net. That's the issue so far is this team outside of the second Minnesota game has actually shown an ability to put the puck in the net.
Right.
The issue is what the issue has
Is
been the last
keeping it out.
3 seasons is they can't keep it out.
Oh, man. Shall we transition to some shout outs?
I would love to. I already
I,
have mine in mind. I think mine's going to be obvious if you'd like me to go first.
I want to, well, first of all, we want to get the ad read out of the way as part of it.
Yes, yes, we do.
But at the same time, before I begin the read, I want to kind of rename it a little bit this year.
Are we gonna do the donkey thing? Almost.
I want to do the donkey thing.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
So, like, obviously, for the last few years, Kepi Keeper was just like a catchy name, right? You got the alliteration. They always threw out
Yeah,
a Kepi hat for guys to wear. Um, and this year, because of Johnny, they're doing like donkey ears
yeah,
because Johnny always loved calling guys donkeys.
I like it.
So, I want to do donkey ears this
Oh,
year.
can we do donkey defender?
Donkey defense. I like that. I like that. That's very clever.
I
It's
literally just looked up keeper synonym. So, but hey, it makes sense. Keeper, goalie, defender, defenseman. See,
yeah.
it works.
Next year we'll do like fiery forward. I don't know. No.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, I like doing donkey defender. That's cool.
Yes.
Um,
Awesome.
but
We keep the alliteration that we care so much about.
um as you know, the chase is on. Stanley
Mhm.
Cup is free once again. Puck has been dropped for a couple of weeks now on the NHL season. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Super easy. All you got to do is go in there, sign up, and pick a team to win or pick, a certain player to score a goal at any time. You can pick over under on saves for a certain goaltender. There's really simple bets you can make and place your first bet. So what do we have? Actually let's do this. There's only one game tomorrow when this is supposed to come out
And
because
that's
everybody plays today.
Capitals. Yes. So the
Caps and
Flyers,
Flyers.
yeah, Flyers are on the road. They are plus 120 on the road against the Capitals. You know what I'm going to look at? People want to bet on maybe who will score a goal. Um,
Ovi's been doing pretty okay for me to start the year. He's a little slow again, but because
okay,
I
so
got I got
goal
Alex in
scorer props
fantasies.
aren't out yet.
Gold
Sadly,
props aren't out. Okay.
they aren't because I was going to see Mitchkov what his
Oh,
would be.
Mishkov. Ooh, Michkov and Ovechkin. That's gonna be a fun little matchup to keep
Yeah,
an eye
like
on, huh?
maybe a nice little two leg parlay of an OV time, OV goal at any time.
Ovi time.
Overtime.
Hey.
Maybe he'll score it in overtime. It'll be an interesting anytime goal for Ovi or an anytime goal for Michkov would be a nice little Russian parlay.
Well, yeah, that would be a nice little same game. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 and get 200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN for new customers. Get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Here we go.
You got this.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/ice. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved.
Amazing.
Okay,
Good job.
thank you.
It's wonderful.
Woof. Do you want to go first or
Yeah, mine's gonna be simple. I mean, it's one of my favorite players. It has been for a while. I'm gonna go with Kent Johnson. Part of the reason is
I had a
because
feeling, yeah.
A, he's playing well, but but B, it's because I can't give one to him in a bit because he's hurt.
Right.
So I wanted to shut him out while I could. He's had a phenomenal start to this season. He just physically looks stronger. He's stronger on the puck. He looks more confident with the puck. He's shooting a little bit more at will. He just looks like a totally different player than almost the strangely timid player that we saw last year, which was so different from the player
Yeah,
we
that
saw
was weird how
rookie
like
season.
scared he was to make plays and
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but like I'm not sure who had a worse sophomore slump, Cole Cylinder in his sophomore year or Kent Johnson in his sophomore year. But the good thing is that Cole started to make the leap back his third year.
Mhm.
Kent Johnson was obviously doing that before he got hurt. So he deserves tons of credit. I'm going to miss watching him. I can't wait to have him back out on the ice. So my first ever donkey defender is Johnson.
Uh, um, that's a great pick because I definitely think from something you said towards the beginning of this show, um, ties into that.
He had 5 points in 4 games.
Whoo, baby. I think he's definitely like, if not multiple guys, I think Johnny Spirit is going to move through this guy.
Everybody talks about Monahan, which is obvious. I think it's going to resonate more with Kent than anybody else because Sean's relationship with Johnny was obviously those two they grew up together in the National Hockey League and became
Yeah,
best of friends and whatnot. But it's a little different in the sense that Kent Johnson literally looked up to him,
right.
traveled to see him play in Calgary, and then after being drafted in the top five by
Hmm.
the Columbus Blue Jackets to be a big piece of their future, his very first offseason after being drafted, and when he's expected to come in, his idol signs with the team. Like
That was
he gets
probably the
to
happiest
play
day of
with
his
him for
life.
2 years. That is so crazy. And it's such a loss, I think, for him. I think it hits him. I don't want to say it hits him more than Monahan. It just hits him differently than Monahan.
Yeah.
And I think also part of it is just how young he is. So I think, yeah, like, and I think we've seen it so far in these first. He's played 4 games. He had 2 goals and 3 assists. Jake, he is a third of the way to his points from last season. He played 42 games last season and had 16 points. He only had 6 goals. In 4 games, he had 2 goals. Like he was literally a third of the way to the points and a third of the way to the goals in like a tenth of the time.
Well, like, yeah, that's the crazy part is still thinking, we're in that weird part of the schedule where like most teams, unless you're the Devils, have barely played an eighth of your season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, to know that he came out literally shot out of the cannon.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did. And I know that cannon scared the hell out of Johnny.
But hey, he came to fall in love with it. So,
Exactly.
um, I there's a lot of guys that I could do this with because I guess I should give a couple honorable mentions before I give the one that I want to give out.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
First of all, Adam, because
Dude,
birthday
Adam looks good.
because
He
birthday
looks
boy
good.
scored on his birthday,
Because
and
yeah, that I think that would have been a fair concern just to see how he would start this season, more so than anything, just coming back from his injury, not
yeah, that
just
too.
the personal stuff with Johnny. Just that's the other thing, him coming back from injury. He looks good.
He looks
He's
great.
talk well. He's seeing things well. Uh, yeah, even games that he's not getting points in, he looks impactful.
I think Yegor deserves an honorable mention because that dude
7 points already.
has arrived.
3 goals, 7 points in 5 games. Yeah, he looks legit.
And then I think the other like last honorable thing I want to give is really I feel like I'm just mentioning the kids, but you told me how great Z looked.
Dude,
in the
Z's.
home
I,
opener.
I I wanted to bring him up if you didn't. Z, this is the best that he's looked in a while. Because I said it in the preview. He had to be better. I didn't think he had that good of a year last year.
Right.
The points were there, but his defense was awful. He is everywhere on the ice right now.
I think he's
All over the
officially
place.
back, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And I think Severson's looked pretty good to start this season. Uh yeah, no, the defense looks so much better. It's crazy what structure does to
Right. I do think though, for my first actual donkey defender of the season, that God, that's such a weird change, but I love it.
it is. I think
Um,
I know where you're going though, right?
uh, it's the other birthday boy.
Yeah,
Um, it's Johnny's best friend.
yeah.
This has to
I'm
go
gonna
to
ask
Sean
you.
Monahan.
I think it's fitting that the first two donkey defenders go to KJ and Monahan. But what I like about it is that we're not just giving it to them because, oh, this
It's
is a
not
guy
out of pity.
like
It's not like
oh, this is because it's his best friend. No, they both played well. They've both played phenomenal to
they've
start
been
this.
monsters, bro.
They
Literally.
both have
Like,
2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points through the first 4 5 games of the season. Like they have played really, really well.
where is that one? Oh no, I gotta find that now. Um, that stat that you showed me about the top line.
Oh, that what was it? I think at one point
Here we
they had.
go. I found it. Per money puck, and this is from Wednesday.
Mhm.
This is from friend of the show, Jeff.
Yes.
Chinikov, Monahan, Marchenko leads the NHL in expected goals percentage at 83.9% among lines with at least 30 minutes played. Have outscored teams 4-0 through 3 games at that point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, they right now, because obviously that has changed, they have played about 60 minutes together,
hmm
and their expected goals percentage is 79.6%.
That's still just
It's absurd.
whoa.
It's absurd.
And
If
I know they
you're looking
changed
at
things up a little bit to put Silly up there. And,
if you're looking at offensive lines, sorry to cut you off real quick. If you're looking at offensive lines to start this season, um, again, using the metric of lines that have played at least 30 minutes together,
mhm,
it's now second. The only other line that's been better so far, that's only played 37.3 minutes together at 83.8%, is Nick Paul, Anthony Cirelli, and Brandon Hagel.
those dudes have been rolling too. Yeah.
Yes. But outside of that, when you look at the top lines in the National Hockey League right now that have a really good expected goals percentage, not many of them are coming close to the Blue Jackets in terms of lines that have played at least 30 minutes together. And there's not too many of them that have played over 40 minutes
Well,
together.
because
These
Sean
guys
is
are,
tenacious going towards the rush. Marchenko is
yes.
consistently going right for the net front.
And then you've got Chinikov who could just fire the puck.
From
It's like
anywhere.
such a perfect mix.
Because, like, I think you have a perfect balance of Yegor, who can do anything from everywhere.
A little he's got he's your Midas touch guy in
You
terms of offensive
have
skill.
you have Sean, who is perfect net front for that line.
Beautiful net front presence, but also hands are still working as far as I'm
Hands are
concerned.
still working, and
He's still got skill to his game. Uh
Marchie has a mix of Margie magic, and he's been an asshole.
yes, it's funny because
He's
it's like
getting
you take
tenacious,
the
bro.
line, you take the line, and it's like, okay, this is what Chinny does, this is what Monty does, and then there's Kirill, and it's like he just does both. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
like it's just
that's what I like. It's a fun mix of each other, and it seems to be like this feels like the line that we're going to look at this entire season, and we're just going to be like, this is the constant. This is the line you
this
don't
is the
break.
one that's never changing outside of obviously this whatever circumstance.
Yeah, yeah. Like there will be times that it gets broken up, but this is the line that will play the most minutes together this season.
Yeah. I did want to read the freaking The thing from Thursday too, just because I thought
Yes.
it was
Do it.
hilarious.
Yes, I think it's funny too.
Great exchange today between Dylan Tyre, shout out to Tyre, and Yegor Chainikov. Dylan asks Yegor if Sean Monahan has picked up any Russian or if they just stick to English on the ice. And Yegor says, "We speak in Spanish." Oh my God, I love these boys.
Yes.
Like, there's just something that's so bright already that we
Yeah.
haven't had in a while.
Yeah. I enjoy it. It's they're a joy to watch.
Oh man, and that just makes me, obviously KJ, Sean, perfect picks for
Yeah. Yeah.
many, many reasons.
Yes.
But that also makes me wonder, you know, how these early injury bugs could have shaped up if everybody was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I
And
so
it's not just us either. God, it's not
no,
just us. This is weird, man.
it's not just us, but it's certainly as of right now, it feels like it's the reason
We'll
it
talk
feels
about us for a second. Don't get me wrong.
the reason it feels like it only happens to us is because it has the last, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years.
Time and a
So
bit, yeah.
like the entire existence of the Blue Jackets
Woof.
franchise, as far as I'm concerned.
Because
Uh,
obviously we know Boone is out till maybe March. Like the earliest they want to try to get him back is for the outdoor game.
yes, so like I my opinion is I don't think we're gonna see Boone until at the earliest
And it was a
March.
different one this time, right? It was his leg.
And part of me is almost like, depending on the circumstance, like if he's not even fully healthy, like do you even want him going at all this season? But that's a question for months and months and months down the line.
And it was his leg this time, right? Like it's been
Yeah.
different things with Boone,
Yes, it has.
which I don't want to say like thankfully, but like obviously it's nicer that
But
it's
it's
been
better
different
that
things.
than a nagging injury over and over and over again, right? Because you don't want it to be the same thing that's
Because
happening.
last year he broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Then you get the injury to Erica Branson, which has been
He had surgery today
they're
or
not giving a
yesterday or whatever.
timetable. I don't know if we'll see him again this season.
That's a tough one because we know, like, obviously we joke about Goody, but
Me
last year
too.
he was a really consistent, good defenseman.
And he had a solid start to the season too. So, like, I have two different feelings about this. One, obviously, I'm actually, strangely enough, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm actually going to miss him. I
Yeah, I think we're gonna miss him.
enjoyed him these last, I would say 12 to 18 months. But um, I'm not as you know, saddened by this one as I am KJ, only because the difference between Kent Johnson's injury and Erica
Yeah,
Branson's injury is we know Erica Branson's established, we know who he is. His injury at the very
right.
provides opportunity for a David Jiricek, or when other spots start to come available, we'll see who else draws into the lineup for the
Probably
Blue.
90% Jiricek at this point
Yeah.
because he's
So
taking up that third line or that third pair spot
yeah,
with
I think
JJ
so.
and then maybe swap Harris, obviously. If you
Yeah,
need
I
to
think
take Jack out, you swap out Harris. That's the big thing, right?
yeah, I more so mean like someone else going down besides Jiricek. So like let's say
Right.
JJ goes down or Harris goes down or Provorov or Werenski Severson. It's like
Damo, yeah.
uh at the very least, maybe who knows, maybe we'll see Den Matacek at some
Maybe
point.
we could see Denton
Maybe we'll see
sometime this year.
disposal at some point. So that at least like these injuries at least provide opportunity.
There's good minors depth too. There's good kids
Yeah.
down there
Oh
that we
yeah,
can rely
yeah.
on.
I'm not too concerned about the pipeline in terms of who can draw into the lineup in terms of defense. And with the structure we have, I feel so much more confident
Yeah.
throwing a kid into the fire with this team and with this coach.
Because Jordan looked good. He's another one of he's a younger guy.
Who's that?
Jordan Harris.
Oh yeah. No, I've liked him so far. What is he, 24, I want to
Something
say.
like that. 24,
25.
23.
So
He's in that 23, 25 range.
yeah, so he's a solid player who can play either side. I love his versatility. I definitely prefer him on the ice than Jack Johnson. No offense to him.
Well, I mean, welcome back, JJ, but like, whew.
Welcome back, JJ. So but like to bring it back to Ken Johnson, I'm not so, as I said, not too concerned about Branson because he's an established player and at least
Right, KJ only
that
going
provides
in a year
opportunity. KJ is not opportunity because the opportunity was
was
KJ.
him.
So that sucks. That definitely sucks.
Here's
Um,
here's
but
the
this
a
this is where
little
you get into the pickups. You bring in JVR, you bring in Kevin LeBanc, so that helps in the short term. But I would like to see some of the younger guys get a chance in these next couple of months.
one thing that is a little bit more encouraging though, obviously Danforth slotting back in as early as he did.
Yes.
And then Voronkov is only supposed to be out until like November.
Yeah,
So
that's going to be a big one.
thankfully Dima's gonna be okay.
Speaking of JVR, he just scored
Hey,
from Provorov and LeBanc. So look at that.
that's a nice little hookup right there. I like that.
Yes, look at the fourth line making something happen.
I um I did see like rumors going around of like already because people love throwing out fake rumors or whatever
Yes.
of TVR getting moved.
Blue Jackets.
Dude, if JVR and TVR get to play together, that wouldn't that be fun?
Have they played together?
I don't think they've ever played together.
It's interesting. You're probably right. I just don't know if I can think of if they have or haven't because
The only
TVR.
ones that I can think of that have are obviously the Stalls.
Oh, yeah.
The Joneses did
Hmm.
for a little while.
For a little bit, yeah.
Uh, those are the only two that come to mind like right away, weirdly. Oh, the Bens, duh.
Oh, yeah. Is Jordy still playing?
Jordy's done. Jordy
Okay,
retired.
that's what I thought. I was like, oh my gosh, is he still going?
But this is what I'm saying though, is like you have all these guys that are already getting hurt. We're barely 2 weeks in,
Hmm.
and they're out for so
So
long.
damn long. Oh, the one I felt so sad about was Duclair.
Oh, Duke hurt. Duke made me like that. That one hurt my soul.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because I love Duke.
We both love
Good neat
Duke.
guy.
Like God,
Yeah.
Jackets legend. One of my Facebook memories that just came up over the last couple of days was that play where he was like doing everything from one knee and like
From yeah.
stirring the
Yep.
stick like a ladle.
Yeah. I remember that goal. I
It
remember
was
watching that because I was in a lecture that night. It was like my freshman year, and instead of paying attention in class, I was
you're
watching
watching the game.
his game. And he scored that goal, and I couldn't celebrate because I was in a fucking lecture. But it was one of the cooler goals I've ever
It was
seen.
such a cool. That
It
dude
was
has
so good.
swagger,
Yes.
and like, ooh, it's such a shame though too, because like that one was one of the more optimistic pieces that we had for the Islanders
Justin
this year.
Danforth.
Oh, Danny already? Wow.
Danny.
Like just thinking of injuries and like I'm scrolling fantasy lineups to see who's out and who's not. Um, I don't know. There's just a lot. Barkov just getting hurt. I don't know how long Barkov's gonna be out.
Yeah.
That's obviously a big blow for the Panthers, who are still, just hot as ever. Um, like Darcy Camper, I know that one was probably a decent blow for the Kings.
Yeah. But then again, we saw how he played against the Senators.
Macklin Celebrini, that's a big one
Yeah, that was a sad one.
because he's already like he's said to be week to week, so that's already minimum 2 weeks. because he already scored his first NHL goal and then he immediately gets hurt.
What a goal that was too. Like it was obviously the lucky break, but it was like this. It was one of the most skilled lucky goals I've ever
Him
seen
and
because he did like the Patrick Kane spinorama, throw it at the net, try to get a pass in, but it ends up going off a skating in.
I got
But
so excited because I thought him and Tyler were gonna start making just magic,
yeah,
right? Because Tyler Toffoli was such a good ad for the Sharks.
he's been playing well. Yeah, I like that ad for them because that gives them uh someone who can score goals,
To someone who can score. Yeah.
someone who can
Um,
put the puck in the net.
I mean, Zetterlund can do that, but
Not at the rate that Toffoli can.
not at the rate that Toffoli can do. But like, this is what I'm saying is like the majority of these guys. I know Demko's still a big one that we're waiting on.
Yeah.
A lot of goalies. I think a
Yeah.
lot of goalies got hit really hard with that. Um, but this is the problem with, I don't know if it's obviously we had this debate like as the season was starting. The preseason's too damn long.
Way too long.
Because what did they play? Like eight?
I think they play 7 or 8.
They played like six to
We
eight.
don't need all these damn games.
We
We
don't
don't.
need so many of those as exhibition
You
games,
could do it in
guys.
4. You could do it in 4.
You could do it in four and yeah, start the season right when the calendar turns, right?
Yep.
Because we know October means hockey.
Yes.
So why are we starting like, in the middle of the second week?
Yeah, I wish I could give you an answer on that.
Because playing, 10 days in with like 3 to 4 preseason games within those 10 days, that doesn't help guys.
Right.
That only increases their chances to get hurt like this.
Yeah. Like and for what? And for what? You're having a long season anyways. Injuries are going to happen. Why add to that list?
Dude, I don't know because it's such a weird schedule anymore.
It is.
Because didn't this last cup final end like on the last possible day that they could have it,
Yes.
which was just a few days before July 1st?
Yeah, it ended so damn late.
I think didn't they say that the last possible day because they're doing like the Four Nations face-off thingy this year?
Mhm.
Um, I think they said the last possible day that they could play is like something like June 24th or 8th or something like that.
Okay. But God, that's late. That's
That's
so
so late.
God.
Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I love having hockey for like half of the year.
Oh yeah, I do
It's
too.
great having everything from the regular season to the playoffs go through like 5, 6 months.
Yes.
And then we get the 6 months to go mad over off-season stuff.
Yes.
Because it's like, obviously, for fans like us, hockey is a year-round thing.
Yes.
But when you have a sport that's as grueling as this is, when you play 82 games and you're playing 2 to 4, sometimes you're playing like 4 games in a week.
Yeah. You got the back-to-backs and everything like that. Like
The back-to-backs,
that's
especially
fine.
when you have to travel
Oh my God. Yeah.
and you have to fit in practice days, you have to fit in the morning skates, you have to fit in, days off when you can just kind of recuperate.
I've I've always said I wish that they would shorten the season. They won't for revenue reasons. I get that,
Well,
but
plus they want to expand, and that will mean having to expand the season anyway,
yeah, yes it would.
which would mean shorten the damn preseason, guys.
Yeah.
This is my
Anyway,
big gripe, right?
not a conversation we had on the docket, but do you really think we should expand it again?
I think 32 is like a perfect number. At the same time,
We
I,
want hockey back in Arizona.
yes. So
Yeah.
I would cap it at 36 and just stop.
36. Oh my.
Because I think that's like the round thing that that I
Yeah.
expect.
No, no, I'm not making fun of you. I agree. That is the round number that they can look at and be like, oh, we have two divisions in each conference for four divisions. And I'm not a math expert, but that would be what, nine teams in each division?
Yes, that would even things out to 9 teams per division because right now we're at 8.
Jesus Christ. Imagine finishing ninth in your division. That's gonna be
Woof. Well, remember they used to have like a 10th round of the draft back
yeah.
when things were smaller.
Yeah.
Didn't they have like a 12th up to a 12th?
I'm sure they did.
I think they had like up to a
All I
12th round. Like,
remember
oh,
in my lifetime was at one point when they had nine rounds of a draft.
I mean,
Um,
Pekka Rinne, 9th round legend.
yeah, yeah.
Wasn't Tim Thomas also like a weird round pick
Was
back
he?
in the day? He was like a ninth or something like that.
I was always under the impression that he just didn't get drafted at all. There are
Tim
other guys,
Thomas Tim Thomas might have been undrafted. I don't know.
but there are guys who were drafted in like the I want to say Tomas Vokoun was.
Vokoun might have been one of those weird like double-digit round picks. But that's besides the point. Like
Predators loved drafting amazing goalies in the late rounds.
extremely late, yeah.
That's, I mean, they made that their brand. So much so that they drafted a goalie high for the first time ever, and they were like,
And
"Nope,
he's
go
gone.
on."
Oh man. But this is my point, right? Like you would expand to 36 teams, obviously with competent ownership, I would hope. You would gain the Coyotes back.
The Coyotes aren't the only team you're getting back.
You would probably bring at least the Thrashers would be
Thrashers,
a good one. Yeah.
Thrashers. Okay.
Thrashers, I know Quebec wants the Nordiques back so bad.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think that one's gonna
what I
happen.
think would happen is you would get Atlanta, you would get Arizona.
You would get Houston.
I was gonna say, I think you'd get Houston. And honestly, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee would be a fun one.
Milwaukee's had the Admirals for like 40 or 50 years, and they're like top three in attendance every year.
Yeah,
Milwaukee,
why wouldn't you just put an NHL team there?
yeah. I mean, we're not trying to, crush the Admirals business model here or anything like that. But
No,
but what I'm saying is like
they're kind of already an NHL team, like in terms of just the way the fans are.
yeah, well, I mean, like you just think about like Wisconsin's not that crazy different of a state from Minnesota. So,
Exactly.
Wisconsin Badgers are a great college hockey program. So,
So
Wisconsin's a
are the
state
Minnesota Gophers,
they
and
would support an NHL team there. I think
it's
Milwaukee.
weird because think about the rivalry between Wisconsin and Arizona, Minnesota,
Yeah,
right?
they hate it. These two do not like each other. Wisconsin and
In
Arizona.
Arizona. Um,
We like snow. We hate it.
I'm just thinking like between the college hockey programs that they have,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Between having the North Stars, having the Wild, and
Mhm.
having the football team rivalry between the Vikes and the Packers that they have, you
Yeah.
already have so many passionate sports fans there.
Oh yeah. And not even just like Minnesota and Wisconsin. It's just like there's like a million different hockey schools in Minnesota.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
exactly. There's like
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a reason why Minnesota is called the state of hockey.
State of hockey, yeah. So like these two states are very competitive.
Wisconsin's big,
There. Yeah.
it's big brother, little brother syndrome, right? A
A little bit. A little
little
bit. Yeah.
bit, huh?
So I think that would play into things very well. Like the Wild and Milwaukee could have a fun rivalry.
What would you name a Milwaukee NHL franchise?
Uh, it's a good
Because I
question.
feel like the Admirals should just stay there.
Yeah, I don't think you give them a promotion, if you will.
You don't destroy an institution like that.
No, no. Maybe something similar to Bucks, like something maybe deer related, something animal related.
The Milwaukee Elk.
Maybe.
I
I'm not,
mean, the Elk was one of the
I mean, we're,
Utah
we're we're
names that
literally
they.
spitballing on the spot here. We're not going to come up with an A plus name, but something among those lines that I think would make sense.
Yeah, something like that. Because I don't know. Because you got the Bucks, you got the Packers, which
Yeah,
we know the Packers is its own crazy story.
yeah.
Um,
Then Badgers. So
Badgers, there's Badgers everywhere.
I think it would be some sort of animal theme.
Huh, I'd have to ask Grace about that because she's Minnesota girl. Um, well, she's a LA born, Minnesota raised. She's great. Um, but this is like, yeah, I think the expansion to bring it back to what we're saying,
Hmm.
the expansion as the last point is the ultimate way to um find a way to contract other parts of the year
Hmm.
in order to keep these injuries from happening so early on.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Hockey's back, baby.
We're here. It's about
Thank,
time.
thank God. I am so happy to be back. You going to any games this year?
I actually just recently got tickets for November 15th against Pittsburgh. Yeah, a little Metro
Oh,
rivalry.
love it. Well, I hope you got those tickets through game time.
I don't know. I would hope so.
With hockey being back, the excitement of watching Puck live is at an all-time high, especially after what a great season last season was with Florida
Oh,
winning the cup. I mean, God, the finals were amazing. It's never been a better time to be a hockey fan. Am I right?
no. I think we're in for an even better story this year.
Me too.
You ever like notice what you ever just think about when you're living life,
Mhm.
the atmosphere in the arena
Yeah.
and just like feel it while you're like just living your life?
Hmm.
Just the chill of going into your seat and you can feel the chill of the ice while you're sitting down, cracking your beer
Literally,
open and
it's the chill of the ice more than anything. Yeah.
um just the, you know, hearing everybody chatter before everybody comes out. The experience of when everybody like it's so quiet. It's a lot quieter to watch a game live when they're just kind of skating around.
It is.
And
But
then all of a sudden you get a big boom off a
yes,
hit off the boards.
hit off the boards, the goal, and the cannon shooting off, or you know, you get the sounds of everything though. Doesn't matter if it's hockey, basketball, or Sabrina Carpenter concerts. Uh, Game Time is an excellent app to grab tickets to just about any event that you might be looking forward to this year. You're looking forward to that Penguins game in November. I'm looking forward
Mhm.
to that Penguins game in November.
Hopefully we can make that happen.
Yes. Game Time picks filters so it can, filter out all the fluff so you can get incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Makes things a lot easier so you can get the deal that is right for you.
I
Uh,
I always liked what you're able to do is they give you selections of like this is worth this much and then you can click on that section in that seat and they have a little panorama view so you can get a little bit more view of just what's in front of you.
yeah.
You can actually look around a little bit. That's a really nice feature that I like.
Yeah, I love it. The great thing about the app is that it makes things so convenient to look through it. I mean, you get seat views, so you can get a panoramic view from your seat on the app before you buy. Lowest price guarantee or game time will credit you 110% of the difference.
They kind of have
Uh,
like an insurance policy too. Like,
yeah, that's awesome. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the industry. Curation makes it easier to save more on whether it be sports or concerts, comedy. Comedy is a great thing.
I
Um,
haven't been to a comedy show in a long time.
I saw Jim Gaffigan last year, and he was brilliant.
It's already been like 3 years since I saw Jeff Dunham.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and if you use the code THPN, you get $20 off your first purchase.
$20.
20 bucks. It's 20 bucks for free. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What is it? It's Game Time. That's gametime.co. Gametime.co.
What time is it?
It's game time. Matthew Olivier?
Did Maddie score?
He's already got 3 goals this season.
Dude's kind
Off
of
like
a
dynamo.
dude's kind of a piss missile, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, oh my God.
Well, that gets us into hot and cold starts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Well, because I kind of want to talk about like that with players. We already mentioned that with the line combination of Chinny, Monty, and Marshy.
Mhm.
But I want to talk obviously teams that are off to hot and cold starts, and let's start with a couple in the same division that are on total polar opposites right now. Winnipeg is the only undefeated team left.
Yes. How about them taking the piss out of the Penguins the other day with the where's
With
Rutgers?
the Rutgers stuff.
Oof. That was cut.
Jaeger's better.
Yeah, I
Both
mean,
chants were so
those two
good.
teams only play each other twice a year, but
You
it's
got to go all out when you do that twice a year.
yes, of course. So the Jets have been super fun to watch so
Connor
far.
Hellebuck has saved me and made me 2-0 in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. He's truly remarkable.
He's
Mark Scheifele's off to a good start. Josh Morrissey's off to a fantastic start.
Kyle Connor's been great.
Mm-hmm. Vlad Nemesnikov, 2 goals, 3 assists already.
I know we don't take like it's weird because we never really take too much stock of plus minus. I was just watching a hockey guy video earlier
Mm-hmm.
where this is very applicable because we're so early in and teams have played such few games that plus minus is fun to look at.
Oh yeah. The one that was kind of killing me earlier was Andre Palat so far. The 007, 0 goals, 0 assists in 7 games, and he's a -6.
Woo!
He has been bad.
That's weird with the Devils being as good as they've been.
He's been an anchor. Not been good at all.
That's very strange. He's definitely like a sticking out like a sore thumb there, huh?
Yes.
And then the other team that I wanted to talk about in the Central, uh, these poor freaking Nashville Predators, dude.
That's actually
What
not.
happened?
So yeah, I was a little surprised that this is where you went. They're worth talking about,
Well,
but
we'll talk about Colorado too, but like,
yeah, that's more. That was the bigger surprise to me. Good
but
Lord,
0-5.
man. Yeah. Uh, Stamkos finally.
Stamkos 1 goal, a -6.
Yeah. Hopefully that goal gets him going. But
Gus Nyquist only has 1 point and it's an assist. Which, to be fair to Gus, like
he's not one of the top dogs. He had an insane season last year. He's not one of the top dogs.
and
You're
yeah,
looking
like
at
bringing in
looking
Marshy and
at
Stammer
Riley.
like this.
Yeah, you're looking at Stamkos. Those
You're looking at
guys.
Marsha, so yeah.
Yeah, they had to step up. But more than anything, it's like the goaltending's been the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Saros is off to a bad start. Uh, I think Wedgwood's only played the one game.
Wedgwood was awful.
He was awful in the one
Oh, he was god
game.
awful. You know, Rangers came out where they left off.
Rangers are not a surprise at all.
Rangers are not a surprise. Devils are not a surprise, at least for me.
I'll say this: I don't think Florida's a surprise because they just won the cup and we know what they are. I'm a little surprised just in the sense that they don't appear to be a team that has any bit of a cup hangover.
You know who is a surprise? Calgary. Dude, how much fun has Kyle been having on Flames Cast?
Yeah, dude, this is like you know when we talk about the tragedy of Johnny Gaudreau, well, the Flames fans are experiencing that
Yeah,
too.
they're feeling
The
it
Flames
too.
team is experiencing that too in a different way than us, but you know, still to a large degree, and it feels like that is galvanizing that room too because so many of those players played with them.
The Flames lead the Pacific Division at 4-0-1.
Yes,
Like, and
and,
this is where
and
was this Huberto?
that's what I was about to say.
Where
Huberdeau,
was this Jonathan Huberto where they needed him?
he looks like himself. Kuzmenko's off to a good start.
Kuzi's been great.
Um, Anthony
Um,
Mann,
yeah, that one's weird one.
yeah, that's one of those moves in the offseason. I think some people
I
kind
know
of
we're just talking forwards,
out of
but like one guy that Neil and Kyle were really high on going into the year, Phil Ponzik.
it. Hmm.
He's been a really good kid.
Dustin Wolf
Dustin
looks
Wolf's
pretty
been
good for his
awesome.
starts.
Um, I know this is Kyle's guy, Adam Klapka. Looks really good down there.
It's a great name.
Adam Klapka is a great name.
Great name.
Um, Vegas being off to a shaky start doesn't surprise me,
No,
weirdly.
I'm not too surprised, nor am I concerned.
I'm not concerned
Vegas
about
is a
the
team that I don't get concerned until it's like January or February, and then I'm
yeah,
like,
and I could say the
out of
same for
it.
the Oilers, even though like, because we saw this last year.
Yeah, weird teams. I mean,
Who from the Otters are the Oilers going to bring in this time in order to make the Cup final this year?
it's a good question.
Uh,
The bigger
King,
surprise than anything in Edmonton is just Zach Hyman.
yeah, Zach's been extremely quiet.
He hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done.
But that's going to change. He's a good player. He's a good player. McDavid's going to start producing more. Draisaitl going to start producing more. Zach Hyman, in turn, will
Mhm.
start to produce more. I'm not worried about the Oilers.
Utah's been a great team to start.
Oh, yes.
What a story with the
No,
Utah
I
Hockey Club, huh?
know. And I'm
I
pissed.
love.
These poor Arizona
I know.
fans
I feel
have to
so
watch
bad
that
for
team
Coyotes
leave
fans.
and immediately look good.
I feel so bad for the fans in Arizona that they're like. I feel happy for the ones that decided, yes, we're gonna follow this team.
Yeah, you've had such an investment in the group for so long. I
But the
totally
people that, don't get to see this live anymore.
that sucks.
Ugh. Dylan Gunther, a rocket
Oh,
candidate.
God, he's so good. Can we talk a little bit just for like a second about
About
that?
Captain Clayton.
Yes, we can. I was
Captain
going to
Clayton.
talk about the fact that one whole ass section of the arena, you literally just can't see the goal in front of you.
Wow, really?
Yes.
It's that bad?
Well, granted, it's a basketball arena.
Yeah,
So it's like it's not built for hockey, but yeah, the one like
not
side,
yet.
I think it's the attack one side, like the upper deck, the way that it's angled, you literally cannot see the goal because the way that
Oh,
it's angled, the goal is like below it. So
that's awful.
yeah,
Oh, man.
but I also suspect that makes for great prices for games. Hey,
Yeah.
You don't want to spend a lot of money? Just go to the side where you can only see one of the nets.
Well, they're also doing the same thing. I know SDP had their concessions discussion where Jesse didn't know what queso was at all, which was weird. Um, yeah, you'll have to watch that one. Um,
Something else.
but like the
I
seat.
don't know what peanut butter is.
That was weird because I was just watching a video on Nutter Butters earlier.
Oh, dude, Nutter Butters are so good.
Nutter Butter TikTok is very strange. Their marketing campaign right now is just weird. But like the point I'm making is the cheap concessions,
Yeah.
right? Like as it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the hockey club's out to a great start. Um,
The hockey club.
it's very
Uh,
strange. It's very strange. I'm not used to it yet.
Utah's off to a good start.
Um, what's going on in Colorado?
uh they can't stop a beach ball.
What is I like
I think Alexander Georgiev just might not be that good of a goalie.
no. I remember I had him in fantasy last year and he finished with an 897 and I was pissed because
You
he was
know,
the first
I,
goalie I took.
I'm not trying to say he's a bad goalie, but I don't think he's great.
He's
And
not starter
he's
material.
he's shaky, and they just don't have any other. Now they did get Capo Kakinen off of waivers, so we'll see what
Yeah, so it's Justus Annunen and Kaapo Kakinen now.
it is. Like, I know he's still really young, so I think it's unfair to truly judge him. But it is a shame that someone with as cool of a name as Eustace Sonnen, literal justice, has not been good. We deserve, we need justice.
It's very hard to like discuss the Colorado Avalanche in a slump like this when the best thing that I can say is like their best player right now may be Ross Colton.
Yeah.
Like,
Miles Woods had a good start to the
what's
season.
going on? Where is Nate? Where is Miko?
Yeah.
Where's Druin? Is he hurt already? Like,
So it's similar to Edmonton. Edmonton, I'm less concerned about because I think Skinner's a better goalie. And
yeah,
I know for a fact that McDavid and Draisaitl will get going,
as will Nuge, as will Zach.
as
Yeah.
was that kind of, yeah. McKinnon and Miko will get going,
Like, I
but
think Kale's been
we
fine.
don't we don't know it when you'll get goaltending.
Right.
That's the difference, I think, between Edmonton and Colorado is I'm confident at some point you'll get the goaltending in
Yeah.
Edmonton. I can't say that I have that same level of confidence in Colorado.
I feel like another, like, just going through the stories now that we're out of the West, I feel like we covered all the, like, the Western surprises.
Yes.
Um, at least surprises. Um, other than what we're going to talk about like right at the end. But Detroit's been really weirdly disappointing. Like I know
Have,
it's early.
have they? Maybe
I
to some, not to me.
I don't know because I feel like they could use. It's the same thing with the goalies that I had the question marks about in the preview.
Hmm.
I just feel like, the offense could still do far more than what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Um, Buffalo is Buffalo is Buffalo.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you about,
Yeah.
two different goalies. One we could talk about real quick, just touch on the Jake Ottinger extension. Good,
Yeah, great for Jake.
good for him. He deserves it. He's a phenomenal goalie, and I love that they got the full 8 years. I love that they got it below 8.5 because I think the goalie market's going to continue to rise,
Well,
especially.
Igor's gonna set that.
Yes. So it was smart business getting this done.
Yeah.
But another goalie that is very much talked about right now, and I want to get your take on it. For the second straight game, Tristan Jarry, a healthy scratch.
Yeah. Um, oh my God, because it's Ned and
And what the Blunkfist, I think. Blunk.
Bloomquist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a hell of a name. I like that name, but
So what the hell is going on with this dude? And is this is he almost going to be maybe a reclamation project for another team, like say a Colorado who's not getting goaltending?
I think he is. I think you're right on that.
It feels to me like I think for me, scratching him one game is one thing, maybe it's to send a message. The second you scratch your number one goalie making over 5 million a year for a second straight game,
Mhm.
I think marks the end of his time in Pittsburgh. Maybe not immediately.
Well, we
Maybe
haven't.
the deal doesn't get done until December, January, February. But I think it's inevitable.
I feel like at the very least, maybe this is just me speculating, but I don't think we've seen Tristan happy for a long time.
He's gotten a
He's not
lot.
happy. He's not been good.
He's
He's
gotten
getting
shit. Let me tell you, we don't talk enough about how brutal that position is. There are
he's
certain
getting
positions in sports across the United States that no matter what is always going to be a bitch. Quarterback for the New England Patriots post Tom Brady is
Mhm.
always going to be a bitch for whoever wants to be.
Poor
Uh,
Drake May, this kid.
he looks good so far, but like the standard gets set. When a standard gets set at a certain position,
Marc
it
Andre
just
Fleury.
yes,
I know
from
that's where you're going.
Marc-Andre Fleury to Matt Murray, and even before then with Barrasso, like
Vokun was good, was great there for a while.
yeah. So it's like when you look at the history of goaltending in the Pittsburgh Penguins organization, especially in recent memory, from Marc-Andre Fleury, then immediately to Matt Murray winning back-to-back titles. Tristan Jarry just hasn't had that postseason success. And I don't think that that's all his fault
No,
because I think he's had very different teams in front of him compared to the ones that Fleury had.
he's
The
had
one
an aged team. Meanwhile, Fleury got to grow with his team.
and Murray got to take advantage of that team at their absolute peak. But oh my God, like it's been brutal. Like the treatment that I've seen Penguins, and it's not to say that they're bad fans or disrespectful. It's just the standard that he is held to feels unfair. And I think that sometimes for an athlete, it's fucking exhausting.
Yes, yes. You know, bringing it back to football for a minute, like obviously Green Bay just churns these guys out,
Oh my
but like
God.
going from
I know.
Favre
I'm a
to
Bears fan.
Rodgers to
It
now you
happens
got
every
Jordan
time.
Love.
Every time. Jordan Love's going to go on to have a phenomenal career. He's going to win a Super Bowl. He's going to turn into some weirdo at the end of his career, probably play for the Jets. And before that happens, they're going to pick some random dude from Wichita State who's going to be the greatest quarterback who's ever lived. And it's just going to continue.
Dude, the Falcons could have had Brett Favre.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. Well, but yeah, no, that's
But like I get
there,
what you're saying because
yeah.
this guy, I don't think he can handle the mental load.
Because it's just a different load than I think than Matt Murray dealt with. I don't want to say different from Flurry because Flurry did fall on hard times, but
Here's a good comparison.
he was able to get out of it because the team was better.
Here's a good comparison. Uh, Blackwood following up Berger and Schneider.
Yeah, and God, talk about not having a very good team in front of you. He was a victim of his own success because his first year and a half in the National Hockey League was so damn good behind such a bad team that everybody kind of thought like, "Oh, this is the
He's
dude."
gonna save us. Yeah.
And no, it just didn't happen. So, no, I do like that comparison. Um, yeah, there's just some positions that are just a bitch to deal with because of just the precedent.
I don't think him and the management are getting along right now. Like I know who Dubas and Spezza are in terms of, we
Yeah.
saw them in Toronto for the longest time.
Here's a good one for you. Shortstop for the New York Yankees.
Shortstop for the Yankees since Jeter. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? That's one. Small forward for the Celtics. Tatum does the job quite well, but it's not an easy job ever since
No.
Larry Bird. Like, you know, Paul Pierce. It's just there are some organizations and positions that are just it's just awfully big shoes to fill.
First baseman for the Reds.
Yeah.
Now the
Yeah.
Joey's, now the Votto's gone. Dude, we don't
Absolutely.
know.
So I just to anyway back to Tristan Jarry. I don't know when it'll happen, but I do think that this is his last season with the Penguins,
Hmm.
and it strangely almost feels overdue.
I think they should have got rid of him like at the very least last year, if not two.
Yeah, yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I feel like would have been the earliest you could get rid of him at a good value.
And I don't say get rid of him in terms of like I don't think he's a bad goalie.
No,
I don't think it's a marriage that feels like this divorce has been long overdue.
it was a shotgun wedding,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it was a shotgun wedding and a divorce that's taking like over a year to process
It's taking so long to get over the line. Yeah.
when the paperwork was already done, but you're having to go through like, you know, 10 more court meetings before things
Yes.
can finalize.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get your take on that because I kind of feel the same way that you do that this is gonna end sometime in the near future, I'd imagine.
I wonder how interesting it would be to get a Georgiev Jari swap.
That's what I was thinking because with Jari's contract, you're likely going to have to take on a contract in return. Part of me was wondering, like, maybe the Red Wings would be interesting in terms of a swap for Husso. Now, granted, the Red Wings would have to
The
give him.
Husso thing is weird, man.
He just hasn't looked good since he's
What
come.
happened to Village? Like that's got to be a one-off.
I think more than anything, that's what it is. I think he might just be a career backup who had a really, really good season at the right time and got his payday because of it. Um, but in terms of the money, that would work for both sides, and
Yeah.
Detroit would have assets, but they would be getting a starter out of it and taking pressure off of Cam Talbot, who's still kicking, man.
He's doing his best.
He's doing his best. He's holding it together with band-aids, duct tape, paper
Do any
clips,
of these
WD-40. Do any of these
fuckers.
fuckers
You gotta put some
ever
flex
just
tape.
sign a one-year deal with a random team?
You gotta put some flex tape on that shit. You gotta do every little adhesive you
That's
can find.
what Cam Talbot has become in his career.
He's flex tape.
He's become, yeah, the flex tape. That we have a whole just Cam Talbot.
Cam Talbot, he'll fix everything.
Yeah, that's what he's become in his career.
Can't wait for him to go to Washington next year.
Maybe, maybe. You know what?
Oh boy.
You make that joke. We're the team that's probably a year
It's probably gonna take him on. Yeah. Or Philly. I mean, like, I know Ayerson's trying his best, but like, ooh,
Oh, a reunion with Philly?
ooh, reunion with Philly.
That's what people forget. He was a flyer.
Oh man. So yeah, like it's weird because I'm just scrolling the division standings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this and I'm going, the majority of teams have played 5 to 6 games, unless you are two that have only played four, that
Yeah.
being the Caps and the Canes. Ironically, the Canes and the Lightning and the hurricane season and all that, jokes aside.
Yeah.
It's so weird that the Hurricanes Lightning game got postponed due to a hurricane and lightning.
Right.
Canes and Caps have only played four. Pittsburgh, Florida, and Buffalo have each played seven already, which that just adds to the Jarry discourse of like, dude, they're 7 games in. And the
Yeah.
only player worth mentioning anything on is Gino.
Yeah. Real
Like,
quick, just to get back to Cam Talbot. How many games did Cam Talbot play for the Flyers?
I don't remember him as a Flyer at all, so I'm gonna say like 5.
4.
Wow.
Yeah. He played 4 games with the Flyers. I can't
Wow.
believe I plucked that out of my ass. I can't believe I remembered that he was the Flyer for 4 games.
I can't believe I guessed 5 and was like right there.
Yeah, yeah. Next start for the Red Wings will be the time he matches his career games with the Red Wings with the Flyers.
Goodness gracious. Um, but yeah, the Panthers, the Sabres, and the Penguins have all played 7, which, like I said, just adds more to the Jolly discourse. Like, dude, there's 7 games in.
It does.
And
Yeah.
then the Devils, who have played 8 because they're running around like lunatics.
Yeah, they had to start over in Prague.
And that's why Buffalo's played 7. Um, this is such a weird time of the year where the schedule just never lines up.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it because numbers are all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like Chicago is 6th in the Central. They have 5 points. The Blues are 5th and they have 8. They're tied with the Wild.
Wow.
And then there's Colorado at 4, and obviously Nashville hasn't won. This is just like I love looking at these numbers because it's like Calgary 4-0-1, 900 points percentage. Kings 3-1-2, 667 points percentage. The
Oh,
top 4 is all heavy in the Central. Um, you have a team with a 643 points percentage beating out a team with a 667 points percentage in the
mhm.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
You have a team in the Devils who've obviously, this is just because they played the most games, 11 points in 8 games, has a 688 or points percentage, right?
Hmm.
The Capitals at third, 3 out of 4 games for a 750. And the Rangers, 4-0-1 with a 900. The Rangers are second in the division with the best points percentage in the division.
God, they are so good.
It's so weird. Like, it's not weird that they're good. It's just like looking at those points percentages and I'm like, whoa, you know?
Yeah. I think this is a good episode.
I want to end it with a trivia question for you.
Yes, I is this gonna like go back and forth for like next episode? I have to do one for you.
I mean, you can if you want.
I'm fine with you doing it all the time if you like. I wanted to know if that's what you had in mind.
I just wanted to do something fun. I just wanted to do something fun
Oh,
based off like an early headline.
yeah, let's see. Let's go. Hit me.
So, according to NHL.com, because we missed this because we were dealing with emotions and going through the home opener and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, we missed a goalie goal.
Yes, we did.
Philip Gustafson became the 15th goalie to score a goal in league history, the 10th to do it while shooting.
Yes.
Uh, 15 goalies have done it with a total of 18 goals, 16 of those in the regular season, 2 in the playoffs.
Yep.
I want you to try to name as many of the others as you can, and if there are multiples, see if you can name how many they've scored.
Well, I know Brodor's got multiple. I believe he's got three, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
does.
Okay. Obviously Hextall is the other one. I think he does he also have three?
Hextall is one with multiple. He only had 2.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
And
Um,
obviously Gustafson.
I yes, obviously Gustafson, yes. We had one that wasn't too long ago.
We had a couple that weren't too long ago.
Yeah. But did Billy Smith have one?
Billy Smith had the first one.
That's okay. That's what I thought. Okay. I want to say that was when he was playing with the Islanders,
That
right?
was in 79-80
Okay.
when he was with he was oh no, that was yes, he was with the Islanders. That was against the Colorado Rockies.
Oh my God. Um, I think
Oh man.
Nabokov had one, didn't he?
Let me look. Let me scroll this. He did. Evgeny Nabokov scored
Oh,
against the Canucks when they pulled Peter Sikora.
buzzer beater, Mike Smith.
Mike Smith. Yep. Mike Smith for the Coyotes against Jimmy Howard's Red Wings.
Yeah. God, Jimmy
Oof.
Howard.
Oh, Jimmy Howard.
Did Fleury score one?
Uh, Flurry did not score one.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark on this one. I want to say I remember, and this is such a weird memory for me to have. I think I remember Cam Ward scoring one, not because he shot it into the net, but he was the last one to touch the puck before it went into the empty net.
You are correct, sir.
Yes. Oh my
Cam
God.
Ward
Yeah.
in the 11-12 season against
Yeah.
the Devils. Johan Hedberg was pulled and Ilya Kovalchuk scored an own goal.
Oh my God. The names in that sequence. Oh my God. Oh, wow.
If you run out, I'll
Oh,
just go through the
the
list.
guy we just talked about, Tristan Jarry had one, didn't he?
He did.
Yes.
Jarry scored last season against the Lightning after they pulled Vasi. Because I think at the time, yeah, because it was like late November,
Yeah.
Tampa was in a rough spot and Vasi was
Oh,
not Vasi at all.
another guy we talked about, Pecorino had one.
Just too good right now.
Yes.
Just too good right now. Pekka
Just two
was
right now.
January 9th,
Um,
2020, after the Blackhawks pulled Crawford.
okay.
You're
Uh,
missing one very recent one.
very recent. Um,
It's a guy we talked about on this
today.
podcast a lot. He just swapped teams and we
Oh,
laughed.
Allmark?
Linus Olmark,
Okay.
20 February 25th, 2023. Uh wow, it was against the Canucks and they pulled Shelovs.
Okay.
Are there any other ones that you can try to think of, or do you just want me to go through the list?
Um, I think I could maybe get another one or two.
Okay, because you got the guys that like we all
Are there any guys on this list who are
actually. There's one
right,
more that you would
right
rec
catching, right catching?
right catching. I wouldn't know that based off of looking at this list.
Because I want
Uh,
to say there's one from maybe that was the earlier
There
2000.
is one, there is another one that caught right at the very least.
Okay. Okay. I want to say it would have been earlier in the 2000s because I'm obsessed
You're
with these.
getting you're getting warmer. You're getting warmer.
Is it Jose Theodore?
Jose Theodore, Montreal Canadiens, January 2nd,
Okay.
2001.
Okay, let's go.
Islanders pulled John Van Beesbrook.
Oh, John Van Beesbrook. Oh my God. Dude, we're getting some names in this.
Yeah, we are.
Um, God,
Couple more in the early 2000s you're missing.
in the early 2000s.
There's one in the 90s there's two in the 90s that you're missing. And their names you should know.
Names I should know. Cup winners?
I want to say one was, yes.
Winner, goalie. Did Hasek ever have one?
I don't think so. Not
Okay.
according to this list.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because I know he I think he won in '08 as the backup with the Red Wings.
Uh, I
But
want to say he did, but that's
but
not,
his
no.
his run was obviously in the '90s, so I figured maybe there was a moment
So
of
no.
glory. Who else? Uh, geez.
If you give up, I'll just
I
go through
already
the list.
got Hextall. They faced the Red Wings. Oh, Chris Osgood?
Chris Osgood, Detroit Red Wings 95-96
He
season.
did.
Hartford Whalers,
Oh,
Sean Burke.
oh my God. Jesus. That was
You're getting there, dude. You're
that was
getting
kind
there.
of just floating one out there. Where am I at right now?
You are missing one, two, three. You're missing three more guys.
I'm only missing some. Jeez, dude, I've done so much better than I thought I would. Um, but I think I'm just gonna end the line here because I can't think of anybody else.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go through this list then. Billy Smith in the 79-80 season scored against the Rockies' Bill McKenzie.
Hmm.
That was an own goal by Rob Ramage.
Rob Ramage. Oh my God. Wow.
Hextall, 87-88 against the Bruins. That was the first shot on goal
Hmm.
scored. That was when the Bruins pulled Reggie Lemelin.
Okay.
Hextall's second one came in the 89 playoffs against the Capitals when they
Hmm.
pulled Pete Peters.
God, what a great name.
That's a great name. Chris Osgood, like I said, 1996 against Sean Burke's Whalers. Brodeur's first one came in the 97 playoffs against the Canadiens, and they pulled Jocelyn Thibault.
Yes.
Uh,
Name
the
too.
the next one, Damian Rhodes, Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Uh, January 2nd, 1999, during the 98-99 season,
That's one
against
I never would have gotten.
against Marty Brodeur. It was an own goal by Lyle Odeline.
Oh wow.
That game was a 6-0 win, by the way.
Oh Jesus.
Ugh. Brodeur's second one came in 99-2000.
Wait, so you mean to tell me this dude had a goal and a shutout in the same game?
Yeah,
Oh man.
I think
Imagine
Gus did too.
imagine if a goalie did that today and you had him in fantasy.
I think Gustafson did too.
Did he have a
Did he
shutout?
not? Did he not shut that game out?
God. Imagine having him in
No, it
fantasy.
was 4-1. Dang it.
But still, imagine having him in fantasy.
Um, Theodore got one in a shout out. Um,
Jesus.
so let me see. Where was I at? Brodeur's second against Brian Boucher. That was an own goal by Damon Langkow.
Oh my, there have been some names in this, some good names in this.
The Theodore one was I lost. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm losing pages. Okay. Jose Theodore. January 2nd, 2001, New York Islanders, John Van Briesbroek. That one was in a shutout. Evgeny Nabokov's was March 10th, 2002 against the Canucks' Peter Skudra. I
Hmm.
don't know why I said Sakura. Uh, Mika Norinen of the Buffalo Sabres in 03-04.
I don't know if I know him.
Valentine's Day 2004 against the Leafs. They pulled Trevor Kidd, and it was an own goal by Robert Reichel.
Oh my God. Brutal.
The other one you missed was Chris Mason of the Predators in
Really?
05-06.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that. I didn't know that Chris Mason scored one.
April 15th, 2006. Against the Phoenix Coyotes, they pulled David Lenevu. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was an own goal by Jeff Sanderson.
Wow. Hey, Jeff Sanderson, Blue Jackets legend.
Yep. And then you got Cam Ward. Marty Brodeur's third one came in 2012-13 against the Hurricanes, and Dan Ellis, own goal by Jordan Stahl. Oof, poor
Oh,
Jordan.
oof.
Mike
Wow.
Smith, shot on goal against Jamie Howard. Linus Olmark, shot on goal, or Pecorine against Corey Crawford, yada, yada. We've got
So I went, what was that, 12 or 15?
that was, yeah, I think it was 12 for 15 because you missed Rhodes,
Uh,
Norinen, and Mason.
wow. Look at me.
That was
Proud.
pretty good.
Thank you. Proud.
And they're all like, go back and watch those goalie goals because like
Yeah.
NHL's got a link for them.
Yeah.
They're so much fun
Yes.
because they're so rare.
Yeah. You
Just
get a
this,
few of the American League too that are exciting.
I know Askarov did a couple already in the American
Askarov,
League.
yes. Reto Berra had one.
Reto Berra, that's a throwback
That's a
name.
throwback. He had one that was a direct shot in. I think that was when he was with the Monsters.
I
But it wasn't our iteration of the
It
Monsters. It
was
was the
the Avalanche Monsters, right?
Colorado iteration of the Monsters. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did what's his face from Hershey? Oh my God.
Hunter
Hunter
Shepard.
Hunter Shepard. Did he ever get one yet?
I don't
I feel
know.
like he's due for one down there.
Yeah. Until he gets his shot in Washington, I suppose. We'll see. He had
Who's
such a great college career.
who's the next one you think can do it?
It's such a hard one to predict because you never know when someone's going to make a save and then some idiot's going to turn around and put it in his own net. So
Or just grab it out of the neutral zone, tee it up, and fly it over everybody.
yeah, I'm a little. Can I tell you? I'm a little surprised with his puck skills that Patrick Waugh never got one. He
Yeah,
tried.
well,
He tried his best. He dangled Gretzky once. He tried his
that
best.
was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life with our old buddy John Davidson on the color call for that.
You know what? It's random shout, but a guy who loves to play the puck. If because like this is such a strange. You never know who's going to be the next one to score.
If
But
you're a goaltender, tend the goal, please. But if you
yeah,
want to try it, try it.
I'll try it. I'll say Jacob Markstrom.
Oh, I think Markey can do it.
Yeah,
That would be fun to
I
see him
think
do it
he'd
with.
like to do it. I
I
think
know he wants to.
that's part of the issue. You have to have the want to do it.
I think he definitely would want to.
Yes. So
Um,
that's my answer.
Hey, because Fleury wants to get into a fight. I want to see Markey get a goal.
Yes, I would too. Imagine if that happened. Imagine if he's the next one to score, and I predicted that.
Imagine those happened in the same season. Marc-Andre Fleury fights Jordan Bennington, and Jake Markstrom scores a goal.
Yes,
Because it has to be Benner, right?
it's got to be.
Like,
Who else?
especially because I know Benner wants to fight, and it's fun to give him the cold turkey.
I don't know. Does he want to fight? I think he wants to make it look like he wants to fight.
Did you see Stolar's not getting a hug last night?
Oh,
Because he like the buzzer went and the teams just went into a big pile in a scrum, and then you just see Stolarz just kind of standing there like,
Oh,
um,
speaking of
just
funny
like,
goalie moments,
guys.
Joey Decord trying to jump the pile. It's
Oh
that was a fun moment.
yeah, trying to get in there.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think this was a resounding success of an episode.
It was cool to show the goalies some love at the end of this.
Yes, of course.
Especially after we talked so much shit on Tristan Jarry and Georgiev.
Hey, say what you want about Tristan Jarry. He's got more goals in the NHL than you or I ever will have.
That's right, baby. Let's let this season roll.
Yes, and hopefully the Blue Jackets will hold on and get us a nice big fun. Oh, it's 4-0.
Hey,
Who scored? Sean Monahan.
there he goes, money, baby.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's go, Jackets, baby.
Let's go, Jackets. We'll see
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Garinger, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.